ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಾನು ರೋಹಿತ್, ರೀಜನಲ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ KSOU. ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನವನ್ನು ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವ ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಪ್ರಾಂಶುಪಾಲರು, ಬೋಧಕ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಗ್ರಾಮೀಣ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ಳುವಿಕೆಯ ಅಗತ್ಯತೆ ವಿಚಾರದ ಕುರಿತು ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಮಂಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನೀಡ್ ಆಫ್ ವುಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್ ರೂರಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ. Sustainable development is defined as a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. These strategies focusing on rural women education and self-employment lead to faster and stronger sustainable rural development. Women's participation is very important, which helps the policy of reducing poverty and their respectability in the society. Gender inequality brings higher economic costs and leads to social inequalities and environmental degradation. Although the female participation is growing, they do not take part in the economic and political decisions as expected. Women have made direct and indirect contributions to the economy. The direct contributions comes from their role as workers in the paid economy, whereas the indirect the one comes from their roles as a mother in the family and society. The progress in the level of education in women and their participation into workforce bring an increase in the income of the state as well as the competitiveness. Producing highly value-added goods will make a big contribution to the balance of payments as well as to the economic growth rates. This may also contribute to solve the difficult problems. In summary, it can be said that increased women's participation brings a noticeable increase in family welfare, society, and that sustainable rural development of Karnataka. Empowerment of women is a socio-economic process which enables women to realize their rights and potentials to assets their equal access to the control over resources and factors which affect their lives. Empowerment essentially entails the transformation of the structure or institutions that reinforce and perpetuate gender discrimination. The principle of gender inequality is enacted the Indian Constitution in its preamble, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and directive principles. Equality of women includes the right to live with the dignity, the right to sense of self-worth, the right to have and to determine choices, right to have access, opportunities and resources, right to have the power of control their own lives both within and outside their home, and their ability to influence the direction and social change create more just a social and economic order. Evidence from across the world has shown their improvement in the status of women in social spheres including livelihood, health and education is correlated with greater prosperity for the population as a whole and more successful development outcomes for the entire state. Engaging women as successful and rightful participants in development is therefore important both for the advancement of the status of women and girls for the overall social economic growth of the society. Empowerment of women in national scenario. Agriculture in India accounts for 37% of India's gross national product, and according to the National Sample Survey Organization data to employ 70% of the working population and about 84% of all economically active women, but out of 168 million people estimated to be living below the poverty line, 60 to 80 million are women. Poor women in India suffer from triple disadvantages of poverty, social backwardness, and being women. The Plan 2002 to 2007 of India aims to continue with the process of empowering women through translating the national policy of women empowerment into action with a threefold strategy: economic empowerment, social empowerment, and gender justice. Women and economic empowerment. Economic empowerment is a woman sets a direct path towards gender equality, poverty eradication, and inclusive economic growth. Women make enormous contributions to economics, whether in business and firms and entrepreneurs, the employees for doing unpaid domestic and care work at home. Therefore, economic empowerment increases women's access to resources and opportunities, recognizes the value of their contributions, respect their dignity, and negotiate fairer distribution of the benefits of growth, economic growth, poverty, and gender inequality, and in textibly interrelated. Given the harsh relations, intra-household discriminations, and social discriminations, many women are deprived of dignity of the decent life. The concentration of jobs in mostly unorganized sector, low-paid jobs, and unpaid labor. Thus, economic policies as macro women's representation in work with better remuneration, guaranteeing livelihood, representation of women's issues in macroeconomics policies, nation and state, and allocation of adequate resources to promote women empowerment, breaking of glass ceiling. MESO, community level ownership of assets, land, access to credit, involvement or representation in local trade associates, assets, access to markets, and micro level, household level, women's control over household income and assets, relative contribution of family supports, access and to control over family resources, participation is economic decisions of the family. Levels and poverty alleviation programs will together have to specifically addresses and diverse needs or problems women, particularly women of marginalized communities, and mainstream the development process. This can be done by increasing women's access in mainstream financial services by developing policy frameworks that allows women's smooth transition from microfinance to mainstream economic policy, and structures through development and elimination of gender-based financial institutions. Women should be able to access institutional finance, and individuals not only independent. Banks should adopt a single window approach to overcome procedural and other barriers accessing loans by women, especially those belonging to marginalized groups and communities. The women beneficiaries shall be drawn from the poorest poor of marginalized sections like SC, ST, minorities, women with disabilities, widows, single women, and female headed households. More women's voices should be included in economic bodies and financial institutions. Gender-based differentials should be eliminated and equal opportunities provided to women working in both formal and informal sectors. Steps to be taken from the mobilization of poor women through a convergence of need-based programs and services, providing a wide range of options along with the necessary support measures enhance their capabilities. An effort will be made initiate accounting and unpaid work of women in an explicit manner. Women's contribution is socio-economic development as producers and workers should be recognized in the organized and unorganized sector. Incorporation of gender perspectives at budget processes, undertaking and discrimination, gender auditing, economic programs and policies. Women and agriculture, increasing familiarization of agriculture demands recognition of women and farmers. Women and industry. Women's participation in organized manufacturing MSME sector shall be increased in producers and workers. Discriminatory practices shall be eliminated. Opportunities, recruitment and promotions in all organized and semi-organized sectors. Opportunities shall be recreated for women in the trade and commerce sector with provision of special facilities, marketing outlets, and representation of women in marketing committees. Urban and rural local bodies should extend infrastructure facilities in terms of gender-friendly public transportation, working women's hostels, restrooms and toilet facilities, child and healthcare facilities, etc. to cater the need of working women. Compliance the Maternity Benefits Act and Sexual Harassment at the Workplace Act should be mentioned in each workplace should display rights benefits provided to women employees in their respective organizations. Women in service sector, taking cognizance the lower participation of women in service sector, women's participation in all emerging service sector, information, communication, technology, biotechnology, retail, banking and finance, food and hospitality, entertainment and tourism should be promoted at all levels, along with all other benefits, working conditions suggested. Women working in industry other organized sector jobs, provisions and adequate facilities, safety measures of women working night shift and various service sector of like BPO, hospitals, IT sector, transport, tourism, hospitality, etc. shall be ensured. The policy shall also make reference to the code of conduct for safe and honorable tourism in ensure protection of women from any form crime and exploitation of tourism as sector. Women working in unorganized sector comprises the large part of women working producers, workers and service providers. Those should be provided with a decent work and social security throughout life cycles. Women are subject to exploitation and discrimination in this sector. Efforts should be made to make labor legislation and social security measures which are currently available and these workers adequate mechanism and address exploitation, sexual harassment, violence and crime against women within family and in the workplace should be ensured. Skill development and entrepreneurship. Skill development of women shall be addressed in priority basis because globalization has put a premium on skills. Women participation in globalized sectors largely hampered due to a lack of education, poor soft skills and inadequate entrepreneurship and management skills. Access to skill-based vocational training shall be made available. Girls or women right from the school level. Vocational training also take into account the retraining and skill upgradation needs women who have taken a job break due to familial responsibilities so that they are enabled to re-enter of the workplace. Capacity building women in e-trading and e-commerce shall be encouraged though through skill development programs. Skill-based cooperative entrepreneurship needs to promoted among SHG groups, both urban and rural areas. The traditional skills of women in handicraft and handlooms and other similar sectors shall be identified and suitable training programs organized reformulation them suit and taste recruitment of local while global markets. Women entrepreneurship shall be promoted in sensitive through rational credit, finance and technical support. Women entrepreneurship shall be assisted at identification of viable enterprises, preparing project reports, provision of single window service, credit, banking linkage, etc. Microcredit and self-help groups. Self-help groups, women's collectives shall be a part of broader strategy, enhance women's agency at social, political and economic level. Appropriate strategies shall be designed of survival and sustainability of these groups. Excessive reliance on microcredit without appropriate skilled upgradation and entrepreneurship around avenues increase the poor rural indebtedness. Therefore, microcredit movement shall be made more inclusive and focused, including poorest, including members SC, ST and minorities communities as well as women-aided SSGs. Education and women. It is essential to promote gender equality of education, eliminating all kinds of discriminations. Equal access to education for women and girls should be ensured at all levels. The focus of women's education should not be limited to elementary education alone, with also include all levels of forms of including secondary, higher, vocational, technological and professional education as well. Keeping in mind role of education bringing about a strengthening women's empowerment, educational policy framework programs shall emphasize holistic and specific educational requirement each level. Gender sensitive and responsive curricular shall be developed at all levels in educational system. All address typing and constructions, masculinity, femininity and amongst causes of gender discrimination. Conclusion. Finally, women's participation is very important, which helps to policy of reducing poverty and their respectability society. Gender inequality brings higher economic costs and leads to social inequalities and environmental degradation. The efforts of women have traditionally been devalued and all societies even know domestic labor of women not considered of our computation of national GDP. Women have contributed hugely to development in many ways. For example, occupation like animal husbandry, agriculture have seen high participation of women. Secondly, in many areas, women lag behind such literacy rates, nutrition, health status, etc. Women also form a strong component of the rural labor force at the wages paid off to them or lower them, they paid them. Though output may be same, such kinds of discrimination needs countered both of enforcing and existing regulations and also creating social awareness. There are many programs and schemes to promote women empowerment, and they need to successful to enable women to play their rightful role in development. Thank you. Thank you.